Hi everyone, this is Lauren, and she's the wife of Greg, whom we just met. Lauren has an interesting experience in terms of looking for jobs and how she gets to work from home, make decent money. So I thought her experience might be great for us. So Lauren, if you can tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so my name's Lauren, hello, and I have an anthropology background, and I work as an ethnographer for a technology company. So what that means is so the technology company that I work for, they make organizational software, so like human resources software, and so my job is to go out and talk to people out in the world about their jobs. So I talk to them about things like their relationship with their managers, what they love and don't love about work, the technology that they use at work, how they feel about their jobs, how meaningful are their jobs to them. And I talk to people in all kinds of different professions, people who work in banks and who drive for Uber and Lyft and who work in manufacturing and who work in technology. So it's sort of like researching the intersection of people, work, and technology.
So how do you talk to people? I mean, how do you get people to talk to you, actually?
A lot of the people that we talk to are customers of the company, so that makes it easier.
Oh, okay.
But then we also recruit other participants who are not customers. And for the people who are not our customers, we give them a stipend, so we pay them some money to speak with us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I do... I go out and talk to people in person. Sometimes we do it through an app or over the phone. And then I do analysis and research, and then I create reports and workshops for my company. And the whole idea is that the company wants to be able to make things that are actually valuable and useful to real people, rather than just something that a designer or a developer thinks is a good idea, but maybe doesn't solve a problem for a real person out in the world.
So they want to make products that's relevant to people, basically.
Yep. So that's where the anthropology piece comes in.
And all of this is done at home.
Yeah, so I go out into the world. So I do a lot of traveling for work, which is fun. But then the nice thing is that I actually get to work from this home that you see here. So yeah, I work from I have an office in the back bedroom, and sometimes I move to the kitchen or the living room. And yeah, I work East Coast hours, despite the fact that I'm on the West Coast. So I'm done at around 2:30, which is great.
So can you talk about how did you get this job?
Yeah, so I was in the Peace Corps in Cambodia, and while I was in Cambodia, a previous colleague of mine emailed me and said, I got this really great job, I think you'd be perfect for it, I'd love to work with you, we worked well together before, would you be interested when you're back from Cambodia in interviewing for this job? And at the time I was living in Cambodia and I was teaching English and I was going to be there for another year, and it was hard to wrap my brain around the idea of this very different type of job. But when I came back, I called her and I asked her if she was still interested, and she said absolutely. And so I put together a portfolio and I went through the interview process and I got the job. And something I was mentioning before is the way I got this job, and many in the past, is really through my relationships and through connections I've made with people through university, people through both undergrad and grad school, through friends, through relatives. Like really, networking has been the most valuable thing I think that I've done, and just making sure that my work is really solid and my relationships are really good, and when I leave a job, I leave for on good terms with everyone in the company and all my coworkers, so that they're inclined to ask me to work with them again in the future. So that's been really important experience for me.
All right. Lauren can speak Khmer and she can write Khmer. Can you talk a little bit about Khmer? Can you say a little bit too?
In Khmer?
In Khmer.
Oh,ខ្ញុំខ្លាចនិយាយពីព្រោះខ្ញុំអត់ចេះទាំងអស់ប៉ុន្តែខ្ញុំចេះនិយាយភាសាខ្មែរពីព្រោះខ្ញុំរស់នៅស្រុកខ្មែររយៈពេល2ឆ្នាំនិងខ្ញុំរស់នៅជាមួយគ្រូសាខ្មែរនិងយើងញ៉ាំបាយជាមួយគ្នានិងធ្វើការជាមួយគ្នាដូច្នេះខ្ញុំហាក់និយាយរាល់ថ្ងៃនិងក្រែងនិយាយតិចៗដែរ
ហើយមករៀនមកឆ្លៀតមករៀនភាសាខ្មែរទៀតមិនចឹងហ៎ហ្នឹងហើយ So your recommendation is just build a good relationship, basically.
Absolutely.
How about education? your educational background, does it help?
Yeah, that's incredibly important. And also, another thing is to look for opportunities when you wouldn't expect them. So my educational background, I mentioned, is in anthropology. And a lot of people said to me while I was in school, including my parents, what are you going to do with that? But sometimes you just have to think creatively about your skills and also look and see what new kinds of jobs are out there. Because when I was in school, a lot of people told me the only thing anthropologists can really do is an academic track. And while I'm still interested in academia, I found that there are other jobs out there for anthropologists. So it builds up your writing skills. There are businesses now that are hiring anthropologists. Government hires anthropologists. So a lot of times it's like not limiting yourself or not, like listen to what people tell you, but also look for creative ways to use your skills in somewhat non-traditional ways. Because
So
a lot of people didn't know this was.
Is this a bachelor, a master, or a PhD?
I have a master's in anthropology.
Oh, okay.
Actually, two.
Two
Masters.
What other?
One in cultural studies and one in anthropology. And then my undergraduate degree is in film, but I still use that because I make films actually for my company as well. So when I interview people, much like you're doing right now, I know how to edit it together and I know how to tell a good story.
I should talk to you about editing, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So I've used all my skills. So like even though what I studied in college seems like it's unrelated, I've made it part of my career.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. So all right. So basically, I definitely get an education.
Yeah.
And then stay connected.
Absolutely.
Have a good relationship with everybody you work with.
Yep.
And then that's all you can do.
Yes, absolutely.
Is there anything else you would like to add for those who who about to come out to college or to get jobs?
Well, one other thing that I would say is like some of the things that you don't think are going to be valuable, like on a resume, you can make them valuable. Like for example, when I did the Peace Corps, same thing. A lot of people said, is that really going to help you because you already are on a career path, and now you're leaving for 2 years to do this completely other thing.
Yeah.
How valuable is that going to be? But because it was something I was really passionate about, and because I used my skills in the Peace Corps, it became like a real asset for me, and I think Greg would probably agree as well. So sometimes experiences, like you kind of feel like you need to be on like a certain path, but if you stray from that path, it's okay because you can use all of that experience and you just have to sort of tell a story through your interviews and through your resume. You can bring all of those different experiences together and it can make you a more valuable candidate when you're applying for jobs.
Did you have any kind of guidance, any help that sort of like help you along?
I really connect. So in my undergraduate experience, I did not do a good job of taking advantage of the kinds of resources that Greg spoke of. Whereas in graduate school, I really did.
Okay.
And so I relied on my professors. I went to office hours. I actually got my job because I was talking to one of my grad student assistants, and I asked him for help and recommendations, and so those resources were really, really helpful. And I think if I had taken advantage of them in undergraduate, it would have positioned me even better.
Even better.
Yeah, so I think sometimes it's overwhelming when you're first in college as an 18 or 19-year-old. But really taking the time to understand what those resources are and take advantage of them is really worth your time, I would say.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
And congratulations on your little one.
Thank you.